So a pretty useful thing to note when you're going through a difficult time is that time is very good at healing things. So when you're um, kind of in the middle of your brain and you're not really thinking about, you're kind of just writhing in your suffering, and not intentionally, of course, but it's kind of a thing where you're like, this is just awful, I can't bear this anymore, it's just terrible, everything is going to crap, my life will never be the same. Well, that is a present moment interpretation, and we can only interpret things from the present moment. And when we're stuck in the present moment, there's no way we can interpret things in any other way. But the thing about the present moment is it doesn't encompass everything. It doesn't encompass the future, which also is going to exist. The past doesn't exist anymore. Try as it might, it can keep trying to affect things in the present and maybe future, but it's not going to have as much of an impact as your present term interpretation of it. So if you're going through something difficult, just know that it's not gonna be as bad. Let's say 2 days from now, let's say someone comes up and smacks you in the face, and then you just feel really offended because they did that. Well, guess what? In about a day's time, you're not going to care half as much. You're going to care probably 40% as much. You're still going to be a bit annoyed by it, by the thought someone would dare to just walk up to you, smack you in the face, walk away. But a week after that, then it's just going to be completely gone. So it does take time, but again, time is the greatest healer, and time is just proof in itself that nothing lasts permanently. No amount of pain, no amount of torture can last forever. It will always converge to this. It's not going to go away completely, but it's going to converge to this rather low and bearable point. Even if you get physically burned by something, it's not going to be as bad. My hands were just getting absolutely fried because I was holding some plates on a job, and it wasn't pleasant, but I knew that the moment I put down those plates that they'd feel completely fine afterwards. And that's just what, to be fair, that didn't completely rely on time, because I don't know, my body has become so used to pain that when it doesn't have any pain going into it, it just doesn't even bother producing the chemicals in my brain to produce the pain. So it just produces as little pain as possible because it has to do it so often. But yeah, just keep that awareness that time in itself is going to, it's just gonna make the process easier over time. You're not gonna be suffering as much. I don't know, should I say something else about this? I need to think for a minute. So we seem to have this this inbuilt belief that what's going on now is gonna just be the way it's gonna be forever. Like you can't get a job, you've suffered the rejection of someone saying no on the phone and then hanging up straight after. You completely failed in the gym. You didn't do as much as the person next to you could. Maybe that's not bad. Like if you're healthy, it's probably not a bad thing. But some people, they just don't like it when they lose. So especially if it's a competition, actually. So if you're feeling that way, then you're just gonna have this interpretation that like, yeah, this is just gonna be the way it is forever, because your brain isn't a logical device, it's an emotional device, and it's just gonna use that emotion then to project a future that you envision onto this situation. So it takes everything way too seriously. It takes someone making a joke about you too seriously. It takes a bunch of things seriously. So you need to recognize the beliefs, and I'm saying this to you, by the way, I'm not saying this to anyone else. If you think that I'm talking about someone else, you are gravely mistaken, because I'm talking about you. If you think that you don't have these beliefs, you do, because literally everyone does. Everyone has these self-defeating beliefs about they're not going to be able to recover from this situation. But that's not true, because people have recovered from way worse situations. People have fought in the wars and they have went on to build good lives. They've seen people around them blown to pieces. They've gone on to have great lives. Just think about that. Those people weren't cursed forever. The universe doesn't just curse you. It doesn't care about your past. It only cares about pretty much how much of a good pain you're willing to go through to turn into another person that's able to accomplish the goal you intend to achieve. Those are really all my thoughts on the topic.